Hey everyone, I've still got a lot of work left to get done on my 2007 list, so I figured in the meantime I'd make a funny video that's not gonna take forever to make. Now most of these reviews have been about terrible movies, so I figured I'd change things up a little and talk about a terrible movie-going experience. Now this is a subject that's been on my mind for a while now. This is a video about possibly the most hilariously awful movie-going experience I've ever had. Hot Tub Cinema Club. Yay! Basically, the idea is that they provide a movie-going experience where instead of watching the movie in a theater, you're watching it in a bunch of hot tubs, which is obviously the way that movies were meant to be watched.
You're gonna tell me that you wouldn't prefer to go to movies that involve hot tubs and drinking? We should all be able to watch movies like we're in a rap video.
Geez, I wonder what David Lynch would have to say about this.
Get real.
Suffice it to say, this isn't really the ideal setting to be watching any movie that you would actually care about, and to their credit, I don't really think they were marketing themselves in that way. This is more of a party where you can just pretend you're watching a movie and get really drunk and eat soggy popcorn with normies.
We're not really watching the film, but we don't even know what film it is. What is the film?
Does it matter what the film is?
Now, hot tub cinema has been around for a while. They started in Australia and have done quite a few events in London and New York. But last year they decided to bring the magical experience of hot tub cinema to Vancouver, Canada. And this was heavily promoted by several different Vancouver-based news organizations. And really, why not? They've clearly had success with their business and a lot of people seem to really enjoy it. They even managed to host a special advanced screening for spring breakers with Harmony Korine.
The hot tub cinema, some crazy shit I'd never heard of before, but what the fuck? Is this for real?
The event advertised that each hot tub would seat 5 people, so if you wanted an entire hot tub to yourself without risking interacting with people you don't know, then you'd have to buy 5 tickets. So I planned to go to the event with 4 other friends. Now unfortunately, none of the films on the list included Hot Tub Time Machine. I mean, come on. So we bought tickets to the Anchorman screening, and we were told that it would be held in a mystery location. Some months passed, and we were still eagerly awaiting to figure out where we're even supposed to be going, and about a day or two before the actual screening, we get an email giving us the location. Now, this entire time, we were pretty much expecting it would be out in a park or on a rooftop somewhere. I mean, just look at this promotional image. This is the image that they sent out to all these news organizations to promote their event. It looks pretty nice. It looks nice enough to potentially persuade a lot of people into buying tickets. It's a big open setting. Each hot tub has plenty of room. Seems like it could be a really fun experience. We get some food in the area before the event, and I wind up heading to the hot tub place early so we can get the best spot. And when I show up, I realize that it's not exactly as advertised. The space that they got was essentially just a venue that was primarily used for hosting private parties and events, and I kind of get the impression that they didn't even have this place lined up until after they had sold their tickets, because these hot tubs were packed pretty fucking tight into this area. They were pressed up as much as possible against the wall, and there wasn't really any room to walk around them. When they sold the tickets, they advertised that you could order drinks from your hot tub and they would be brought to you, but it quickly became pretty apparent that that would not be possible with this setup. It seems as though the limited space of the venue meant that the hot tub size would also have to be seriously downgraded. Remember those spacious-looking hot tubs in the photo they sent out to promote their event? Well, it turns out that your hot tub party is gonna turn into a cuddle party instead. Cuddle party! Get close. Here's what my hot tub looked like without me inside, so I'm sure you can imagine how comfortable of a movie-watching experience it was with all 5 of us in there. And keep in mind, I'm a big guy. For you. Hilariously enough, even with the downgrades, they weren't able to fit every hot tub in this room, so they stuck a few hot tubs in a room off to the side with their own smaller TV hooked up to the same system. Single TV, little lonely spot for people who want to be alone, I guess. Kind of defeats the whole point of attending this event, doesn't it? Pretty glad I showed up early so we could get a better spot than that. The change rooms they had advertised were actually just regular washrooms. Just wanted to document, they advertised changing rooms. This is the changing room, just a regular men's washroom. Pretty fucking funny. Also, the hot tubs weren't hot at all. The event time had already started, but they just told everybody to keep the hot tub covers on while they heated up. Probably should have heated it up before we got there, but okay. So everybody just drank. They outsourced the bar service to a different company, and there were no issues there. After waiting quite a while, they took the covers off the hot tubs, and they weren't really hot still. I mean, it's probably a good idea for it not to be boiling anyway, considering you're not supposed to stay in a hot tub for extended periods of time. But those hot tubs were pretty much lukewarm at best. Anyway, my friends and I all got in the hot tub pretty cozy, yes homo, and at that point one of the staff there tried to get one of us to go in a different tub, and their reasoning for that is that they were concerned that water would get out of the tub. First of all, we were already in it and it wasn't overflowing. Second, if you're going to sell us a hot tub for 5 people, then perhaps maybe you should just not fill it as high if that's your concern. We weren't the ones that filled up the hot tub, come on. We bought the tickets for our own hot tub because we didn't want to be stuck in a hot tub with other people we don't know. Why would you do this to us? Anyway, I refused their suggestion and they stopped bugging me about it. It would have been pretty fucking pointless anyway, considering everybody had to get out of their hot tub to get their drinks. The fact that we were not able to order from our hot tub as advertised made water getting on the floor inevitable. Why would you host this in a venue where you're concerned about water getting on the floor? The movie hadn't even started and it was already quite the shit show. As we waited for things to get rolling, it just turned into a room of loud, screaming, drunk people. And then when they tried starting the movie, there was no sound. Hot tub party, hot tub movie party, no sound. No sound. What the fuck? So the projector was playing a Will Ferrell comedy movie completely silent, and our hot tub had the perfect view to see the event staff hopelessly fumbling around with the computer trying to get things to work. Still, no audio. No audio still. What scene is this? No audio. No audio. Lots of drunk people. Great. Eventually, I suggested to them that they should try restarting the computer, and they completely ignored my advice for the next 20 minutes. I told them to restart the computer. They have not done that. Oh, here we are. Yeah, there we are. Finally, they restarted the computer. What a shit show. Jesus. After they finally restarted the computer, it appeared as though there was some audio playing with the film. Wow, what a fucking surprise. Oh no, they're not restarting the movie? What a fucking surprise. Not restarting the movie. Hilarious. As you can tell, the crowd, including myself, had gotten a lot louder by this point. Many people were very angry that they would just start the film from the half-hour mark instead of restarting the movie. Thankfully, they eventually got the idea and decided to go back to the 2-minute mark. Restarting the fucking computer! Thank you, God! I would have been pissed off if they did that. Oh my God. Now at this point, the film has audio, but it's way too quiet. It would be pretty difficult to hear it over the hot tubs already, but the shouting drunk people made it a lot worse. Hopefully they turn up the volume enough so that we can hear it over the shouting drunk people. Yep, can't hear the audio. And I knew it wasn't an issue with the sound system at the venue because they were playing music pretty loudly before the movie. Yes! We want you to spill your drinks in the hot tub. Please. As they struggled once again to make the film appropriately audible, I noticed that this was in fact a torrented copy of the film. And since none of them know how to work a fucking computer, they eventually just gave up and handed people free cups of Prosecco, which I will admit is a very nice gesture, all things considered.
Cheers for the support, really appreciate it. It's obviously our first time here.
Oh, okay.
But we still got a bunch of hot tubs, we still got alcohol.
But as someone who does know how to work a fucking computer, it became increasingly irritating to watch this train wreck in motion. If they're using a Yiffy torrent anyway, they could just download an SRT file. Quite honestly, we could have subtitles with this really quiet audio going on. It would be watchable if they just downloaded a subtitle track, but just download an SRT, Jesus. Eventually, I convinced them to let me use the computer to fix this nonsense. They didn't have Wi-Fi, so I used my phone as a hotspot. After showing them how to download subtitles for the film, I suggested that they download VLC instead of trying to play the movie off of QuickTime Player. And surprisingly, I found that VLC was already installed. And after I started playing the file off of that instead of QuickTime Player, the audio was fine. It's going well. We're legitimately watching the movie. Most people are just drunkenly yelling. It's pretty funny. Some people left a long time ago, but I fixed it. I saved the fucking day. You should have just let me do this from the beginning instead of being shut down for an hour while you accomplished nothing. Even after I recorded this video, I went back to the computer and turned it up some more. Needless to say, the event staff were very thankful, and credit where credit is due, I got free drinks for the rest of the night. Eventually, I realized that the movie was not the most interesting thing going on in this room, so I spent the second half of this film at the bar chatting with the event organizer instead. He seemed to think I was some sort of computer genius after fixing the audio. I asked him why he was using a clearly torrented copy of the film for this event, and his actual excuse was that they could not find a copy of Anchorman in time for the event. Remember that tickets were sold months before this, so it's pretty ridiculous to claim that you were unable to find one of the most popular comedies of the past 15 years. You'd think that any legitimate business would have this shit figured out beforehand, but then again, this is the same business that planned a hot tub movie watching event at a venue where they were worried about getting water on the floor. I wound up talking to the bartender and he had some things to say as well, like how there was plenty of time earlier in the day to test the film out and see if it works, but they just decided not to do it. All things considered, I'm not sure these were people who set up an event with the intention of scamming their customers. It seems like they're just people who had no fucking idea what they were doing. They just operated their business very irresponsibly. I mean, they've only ever gotten good press before this video, so it seems as though they've operated just fine in other cities. But either way, you probably shouldn't be selling tickets to an event before you've even figured out if you can accommodate everything you've promised. Is that not an unreasonable statement to make? They obviously felt bad that things didn't go exactly as planned. I got free drinks, I still had fun, although that might only be because I'm the type of person that actually enjoys watching a good shit show. I don't know if anybody got a refund, but there were quite a few people that left before I was allowed to fix the movie. By the time the film ended and people got out of their hot tubs, there was water everywhere, which seemed pretty fucking inevitable the way this was set up. And once we went outside, we realized the true extent of just how poorly planned this whole event was. Oh no! Where's this water coming from? Oh no! Oh no, what has happened here? What the fuck? Oh my god!
Look at the inside of the glass.
Oh no, oh no, oh no!
Small towels.
Why would they pick this as a venue? Why would they do this? Oh no! They're having 5 more nights at this exact location. This is too much of a shit show. This is way too much for me to handle. Holy fuck. Oh, this is too much. This is too much. What the fuck is this shit?
It's okay.
What the fuck?
It's okay though, because they talked to an electrician.
This is
before
hilarious.
They talked to an electrician, so it's all okay.
Did they say that?
Yes, they said that.
When did they say that?
When we were talking, we were looking like, oh my god, this water, and she's like, it's okay. We talked to an electrician. It's all right.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
And I'm sure it's all right.
The damage is done. The damage is done.
You know what? We tried.
We tried! My god, was this ever quite the experience. Like I said, it's likely that the only time that this event has been this much of a disaster is when they came to Vancouver. I don't really want to trash their entire business based on one poorly thought out expedition. Anyway, I just wanted to share this with you guys because it was a pretty ridiculous and hilarious movie-going experience. Stay tuned for the 2007 list coming whenever that's finished. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Where's this water coming from? Oh no! Oh no, what is happening here? What the fuck? Oh my god! Look at the inside of the glass. Oh no! Small town! Why would they pick this as a venue? Why would they do this? Oh no! This is too much of a shit show. This is way too much for me to handle. Holy fuck. Oh, this is too much. This is too much. What the fuck? Because they talked to an electrician. This is hilarious. They talked to an electrician, so it's all okay. Did they say that? Yes. they say that? When did they say that? When we were talking, we were looking like, oh my god, there's water, and she's right. It's okay, we talked to an electrician. It's alright. Oh, I'm sure they did. I'm sure it's alright. The damage is done! The damage is done! We try.